motion and appreciate distinguished Senator Kingibe and all those who co-sponsored this bill. I'd like to add, Mr. President, that this is not a matter for women. It's a matter for all of us who are children of women. Without women, none of us will be on these chambers. And I think the issues of violence goes beyond physical violence. In trying to understand why women are victims of violence, we have to look at the economic root and the social root of it. There are some of our cultural habits that are unhelpful, and we need to carry this campaign beyond the bounds of the elite and take it down to the rural area, where I believe a lot of people are brutalized in silence, and the police are unable to intervene. I think we need to review the laws that have to do with violence against women and stipulate stiff penalties and encourage the law enforcement agencies to enforce any reported case of violence against women. I have 2 lovely daughters. There is no evidence that they are inferior to my sons. And in a world that is knowledge-driven, it is in our relative self-interest to protect our girls and our women that constitute about 50% of our population. In addition, as politicians, we also know that most of us in this room, about 70 to 60% of those who voted for us are women. The men can collect the money at 8.1 on an election day, while you see the women queuing under sun and rain with children on their back to vote so that we can be in these chambers. I think we will just bring justice to the foundation of our own, of our system, by not only passing motions like the UN is doing without teeth to bite. We should pass laws with appropriate tools and encourage the police to enforce those laws and prosecute and provide appropriate sanction. I was scandalized when I was a governor. I discovered that the penalty for rape was so minimal that it was more or less an incentive. And even the penalty for defilement was, for me, laughable, that you wonder if it is worth the time we spend in prosecution. I think the country needs to review all of those laws and the sanction that must go with it, until we begin to find people who are responsible in prison, languishing in jail for several years. Words alone will not change. People are not acting out of violence. I know from my life experience that sermonizing alone will change the mind of those who think it is their birthright to oppress. So I will suggest, when we get to the motion, going forward at the long run, that we should also look at the economic dimension and the social dimension that make men feel that if they beat you up, you run away, they can go and marry another woman. And even if you have toyed with this man for 20 years, 30 years, and you marry the man with no bank account, and later he becomes a senator, he can beat up his wife, drive him out of the house, and the woman will go without nothing. Those, for me, are the real economic issues.
Please give a better example. Give a better example. There is no case of any senator beating the wife or beating children, or raping children or raping girls. So just give a better example all around the world.
Sure, a senator. But I will put my hands on the Bible to say there have been such cases of a senator beating up a woman. And it was reported, and it was talked about. The man didn't go to jail. He was asked to pay some.
Senator Oshiomhole, repeat that aspect of my special interest, please. Use your mic.
Mr. Senate President, you are an example of a leader who protects his wife and protects your daughters, because it must start from home. You have a record of showing love to your daughters and your wife. And for me, that is inspiring. If all of us do that, another Nigeria do that at home, in all the places in Akpabio and in all the villages in Edo State, we won't have the kind of problem that Senator Kingibe is trying to talk about. But I don't want us to reduce it to a joke. I really believe that we need to look at all the ramifications of economic, social, and physical violence against women. Thank you, Mr. President.
Let me thank distinguished Senator example. And then the example you give of the Senate President who has continuously shown love to women, who has shown love to his wife, his daughters, and any female gender children that come across him, is very apt in this occasion. And you have also posited that if all were to do the same, that the violence against women and the girl child will be eliminated. Distinguished Senator Plank, maybe you want to add your voice.